I'm convinced we're the most cursed team in professional sports.
You guys are bad.
I've been saying this hot take for a long time, and I'm sticking to it. My hot take is that Will McDonald's going to hit 15 sacks.
No member of the New York Jets' Week 1 offensive line will miss a game all year.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time! So get ready to rumble!
You know what? There's something about that music. It gets me in the mood. Chaos. I am in the mood. Do you know what the mood is?
The mood to talk some JETS, Jets.
Let's go, man. Dude, what a day I've had. Literally, I felt like the Tasmanian devil all day, like running honeydew list and cutting grass over here and going and doing that and Amazon returns and dude, literally, I sat down like a half hour ago. I took the dog out to play, which is like an hour because dog is crazy about fetching. Like crackhead energy when it comes to fetching. But yeah, finally sat down a little bit ago. I made a thumbnail. I don't know if anyone appreciates the thumbnail, but it's got quite a topic for us that was, mind you, suggested by you tonight, Chaos. But before we get into that, man, we missed you last Sunday. Okay, you were out of town. I have a Sunday coming up where I'm going to be out of town. So just talk to me. How was your non-jet related week or two?
It was a very good week. No, last week I was getting back. I was landing. That's why I didn't realize my flight landed so late. And I said, there's no way I'm going to make it home by 7 or even 8 for that matter. I was in Tucson, Arizona. My niece lives there. She got married. So we were there for like 6 days in Tucson, and we had just gotten back last week on Sunday. The Saturday before that was her wedding. That evening, it was very nice. And I will say that there's some good eats. Okay, good eats in Tucson, Arizona. Especially
did you make
Mexican food?
Did you make any food review content while you were there?
Yes. We were at the famous. They have the buffalo wings place, from Buffalo, that famous place. What is it? The Arch. I'm forgetting something with an A. They they have locations now around randomly they're in Tucson, Arizona. I mean, they don't have that many locations, but for whatever reason, they opened one up there. So we got to try, the original buffalo wing from the place that claims, from that they started the whole thing. So I wouldn't say they were the greatest wings I ever had in my life, but they were definitely top three. They were really good. And then we went to Portillo's. There's a Portillo's out there, the famous Chicago eatery that has opened up a bunch of locations around the country. And for some reason, again, Tucson. And it was my first real authentic Italian beef sandwich, and I gotta say, it was out of this world.
Out of this world sounds like right up the alley for the Danger Zone. If it, I don't know how much filming you did, but if I wanted to see you review one or two things from Tucson, can I find it somewhere?
Well, we haven't posted it yet, but the videos will start to go up at Brooklyn Brothers Food Review. Brooklyn Brothers Food Review. Forget about it. Lots of reviews. So there'll be the place I keep forgetting the name of that starts with an A. The Anchor Bar. The Anchor Bar. That's what it is. In Tucson, we reviewed that. Me and my brother Lee reviewed that. Matthew had already done it. We also I reviewed Portillo's and this Mexican truck slash stand with seating and everything that we tried an authentic Sonora dog and we reviewed that.
Not to be a complete food casual. I mean, I do weigh about 150 pounds, but what the hell is that?
A Sonora dog, I didn't know what it was either until about 6 months ago, so don't feel bad. Is a hot dog rolled and cooked in bacon. So it's a bacon wrapped hot dog, typically served in a bun that they make fresh. Like it's like a Mexican style of bread, like a hot dog bun, though, very soft, steamed bun. And then they put numerous toppings on it. I found out after you don't have to get all the toppings. I shouldn't have because it was a little gross to do all of them. But they put on Mexican beans, uh, grilled onions, jalapeno sauce, mustard, mayonnaise, which I didn't think was a very good move, and all that stuff. And they put all this stuff on this hot dog, and it's in this bun. It's pretty thick, and it's very messy. I honestly, I liked it a lot, but if I did it again, I'd probably say, you know what, bacon wrapped hot dog. Give me the grilled onions. Give me the jalapeno sauce. That's it. Let's simplify it a little bit.
Folks, I hate to tell you guys, just with that little bit of mayonnaise talk that we had just there, that fulfills our Will Levis requirement for tonight. So if you're here for Will Levis talk, I'm sorry, you just had it. So, yeah, no, dude, when it comes to hot dogs, I don't like my bun to be too soggy. And I've never been a mayo hot dog guy. So
Mayo
I'm
is
with you.
Yeah,
Yeah,
mayo.
dude, I'm with you though. Those few ingredients, cut it there and let's be done with it, man. DKB in the house, Wild Wave, Boss Girl, Snowball, Pagan Artie's here, Harlan's here promoting your channel,
Harlan's
Chaos,
a sexy guy. He's a
E
sexy
E
guy.
Boogie. Dude, very sick. I've never seen a guy sexier than Harlan Abraham. E Boogie, E Boogie, Chris B, who I saw call into a show today. Chris B, what a
Wow.
beast!
Well,
I think the B.
Chris B is an amazing guy, always positive, always supportive. E Boogie's my guy. You know what I mean? E Boogie's the guy. If I want to go out in Sacramento on a Saturday night and go to a club and I need some muscle next to me because I don't want to get beat up, like, what are you doing here, you old man? Get out. I just go with E Boogie. E Boogie got it down. You know what I mean? No one's messing with him.
Yes, I do. I do. Try boogieing around Chaos with that guy near.
Yeah.
Not
Don't
gonna
mess,
happen.
don't mess with me if I'm near E Boogie. I'm telling you.
Nope. You know what? Speaking of eBoogie, $5 super chat right off the bat,
Right.
almost matching. Dude, we did over 4 hours on Friday. This is like 3/4 of what we made. So, eBoogie, appreciate you, brother. He says, fellas, can you guys see any more moves the Jets can do before the draft, or is it more likely after the draft we'll see the Jets make moves? Before you answer, Chaos, we do have we should probably rapid fire through a lot of the bigger signings that we've done since you left for Tucson, because let's face it, it's been 2 weeks. We literally, the last time you and I spoke, we were on the eve of clarity. We also did a quarterback ranking list. How did that turn out? But
pretty good.
before we get to that, though, can you answer E-Boogie's question here, assuming you're all caught up?
I don't think we're going to see major moves, but I think there are some moves that don't have to happen before the draft, but I think will. I do think we'll pick up a backup quarterback. I think we'll have some clarity there, aside from whatever if we draft a rookie, which is becoming more and more likely that we will. Not as a high first round pick, not as I don't think we're drafting with the intention of we're definitely not drafting in 2027. I think though we're going to throw a dart. I think it's going to be an insurance policy that if we do draft our quarterback in 27 as the real move, that person doesn't work out. There's somebody else young in the room to push him. I do think we have visited with Carson Beck, by the way. In his workouts, they did a lot of interviewing. The same with Drew Allar. So obviously, everybody's talking about Ty Simpson as a possibility. So I don't know. They could go as high as 33. I think 16. We're not drafting a quarterback in 27, and we could all just deal with it. Like it's going to be whoever if they draft Ty Simpson at 16. I hope they really like him and they're right, because they're all going to get fired if they're wrong. But I could see Aller at 33, Beck at 33, Nussmeier. I mean, I'm not saying it's likely. I'm just saying it wouldn't shock me. It would not shock me. And if they do, it doesn't necessarily mean we're not going to draft a quarterback in 27, because I think it's a difference once you get to 33, once you get to the second round. There are teams that have done that. And still, they still take a quarterback the next year. It's still very possible. But back to his real question, I think we still need a veteran quarterback backup. And I would imagine, and I still think there's a strong possibility before the draft we're going to see that happen. Then there's always, there's less of a chance, but still a chance, a possibility. I think more likely a trade for a WR2 or a guy who can compete to be the second best receiver in the room.
Another trade? What? Another one? Okay.
It's
all
possible.
right. I'm down.
I'm just saying
I'm
it's
down.
possible. I mean, I think just because it got delayed and they said they weren't interested, don't think BTF is completely out of the, or BTJ is completely out of the question. And that's just one example. That's just one example.
Correct. I am with you. I don't know if you knew this, Jeremy, but Harlan chimes in. He says, "Don't eat bacon with anything. It is really bad for you."
Everything in moderation, right? Everything in moderation. The truth is, if you don't mix it with carbs and everything, when I'm on a keto diet, a couple of slices of bacon in the morning with some eggs ain't never hurt nobody. Once you start mixing the bread in, though, that's when you get fat.
How would you feel if you had E-Boogie over and every time you went to take a bite of bacon, he slapped it out of your hands?
I would not be happy. It is fine to offer your opinion and your advice diet-wise, but once the food is there and I'm smelling it and ready to eat it, don't knock that out of my hand, or I'm gonna have a problem with it. And when I have a problem with it, E-Boogie has a problem with it. And you don't want that.
I like it. Speaking of E-Boogie, not to circle back too much to him, but hey, man, he dropped another 5 on us. He says, before we really start chewing on the topics of the night, we got to get this. He says, in the draft, which player will piss you off if the Jets were to pick that player or trade? Example, the Jets select Fanu at 2. At 2. That would piss me off.
I see projections that piss me off. And I'll tell you just from my natural reaction without even overthinking it. When I see guys project us to take an offensive tackle at 2 or 16, I think that they should be fired. I think those analysts, it's horrendous. And I see it. There are analysts that have us taking an offensive tackle at 16. Is absolutely the most ridiculous thing. It's so stupid. And I don't think this is as stupid as tackle, but I do think it's something that would piss me off and something I do not want to see. Is some people have us taking a cornerback at 16. And I'm very anti that. It's not that I think we have such a great cornerback room, but I think there are very few rooms that I think we could ignore for now. And I think the cornerback room is a room that we can ignore for now. You know what I mean? It's a luxury for now. Because the room right now, I like AZ Thomas. I think he's getting better and better. I think that he made some rookie mistakes, but he also showed a lot of promise. I think he's going to be a decent cornerback in this league. I still believe in him. I think Stevens played fine for right now, and we even have another year of ownership on his contract. I think we picked up the kid from Chicago who looked pretty good. I think we got a good coverage, slot corner, and so I just don't think. I just would be very upset. And I think that it's just a very lazy take that other, not Jet analysts, but NFL analysts put because they think because we traded Sauce Gardner, we have to take a cornerback. And I just don't agree with that at all.
Just to play devil's advocate, Jeremy, mind you, just to do that, which I love doing. I'm not gonna lie. You said that drafting a corner, top 20 or whatever, is more or less a luxury we don't have, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think for us, when you look at the holes in our roster and what we have in our roster, it would be a luxury pick. It would be like that's the kind of pick as if we had every room filled and we were a great team. We could say we can improve on Stevens. We can improve on Stevens.
I do.
And
Yes.
let's do it.
God, I would love to improve on Stevens. But let me just to play the other side. If that mindset, picking corner, that's a luxury we don't have. What would you say to someone who says, well, drafting based on need is a luxury we don't have. We need talent, period.
But there's so much talent in so many rooms that we need it on. Like I think that we're in a good position to take the best player available with certain limitations. I think I agree the way the free agency went, I don't think we're nailed down to just a few positions. I just think cornerback would be a mistake because there will be quality players in other positions other than cornerback and offensive tackle, right? So yeah, best player available to me means if we take an edge at 16, you could be looking at linebacker. At 16, you could be looking at offensive guard, right? If the kid from Penn State's there, or even Pregnon, you can make an argument it's not too high to take him. At 16, you could be looking at a wide receiver too, obviously. You could be looking at Sadiq at tight end. I mean, tight end, someone might argue is not an urgent need, but that's an example of Sadiq is very, very special, and Sadiq could fill the void of not having a great wide receiver too, right? Because like if the Jets took Sadiq at 16 and then didn't add to the wide receiver room in any significant way, what that would mean is we're looking at Kansas City. We're looking at San Francisco. We're looking at other teams that have had a lot of success where instead of a WR2, they have a premier receiving tight end.
I'm with you. Again, I was just trying to kind of, ruffle your feathers a little bit. Charles chimes in. He's in the house. Charles Gorman here as well, folks. He says, hey, Dane and Jeremy, hope all is well. I think we've gotten this membership milestone chat from him once before, and I like the I don't know the word I'm looking for, but the fact that he'll burn a membership milestone chat just saying, I hope you guys are cool.
I like that. Charles is a good guy. You know why I like Charles? Because Charles values the relationship he has with people. And I like people who do that. He values the relationship he's built.
Correct.
Right? And that's why you see a text like that go out with his membership, right? Because to him, before everything else, it's important to say hello.
Yes, I'm with you. I know Very well said. That's exactly. I agree with you wholeheartedly. I also appreciate he called me Dane because a lot of people around here or like around YouTube will call me Danger Zone, and it's like, nah, or Danger. I'm like, bro, the channel is Danger Zone. The account, I'm Dane. I'm Dano,
He's
whatever
Dane.
you
He's
want
a
to call it.
Dane. He's
Yeah,
a Dane. When he
yeah,
drinks, he goes skull, and he drinks.
yeah. Exactly. Hey, we got it. We got a Dane. We're getting into that. We got a Dane. I think we got to get him here, to be honest.
Hmm.
But give me 1 second to catch up, and then I do want your thoughts on a couple of these signings that we've had while you were under the Tucson sun. I think that was a
Tucson.
movie back in the day, right? Oh, Tuscan. Oh, never
Did you see
mind.
my? Oh, you missed my live walk through the desert. That was.
I did. I saw an interesting looking cactus in the thumbnail.
Yeah, yeah, I know. It was look. I had a lot of concerned people when I was filming that. They were in the chat saying, "Drink water, drink water." It's funny.
I love it. The chat's cooking. We got Ozzy here, man. I don't think I've ever seen Ozzy, man. But hey, keep your doves close, folks. Keep them protected because Ozzy is in the house. Crazy train in the danger zone. I love it. Um, all right, let's get into it. I have some things that listen. To be honest, I didn't have you or Murph last week. Okay, Murph,
What's Murphy in jail for a DUI or beating
I
somebody up?
pretty much. I think he was picking a banjo in the Appalachian Mountains. So I did have like 2 weeks of nuggets I needed to get from him. I have a lot of the same, but I plan on going through yours, or I plan on going through them with you faster because it's a shorter show than Friday nights. But let me see what I got here for you. Um, oh wait, that's the wrong image. Hold on, my bad. All right, let's see what we got. Creepy ass doll. All right. I don't think we even got to. I mean, if we, you don't have to gnaw on this long, okay? Because I can't remember if I got to get your take on this or not. But it's one of the things that were roughly 2 weeks ago, Jeremy. That I just want to maybe a 60-second take on. What did you think of this trade
Well,
that came through?
emotionally sad. I like Jermaine Johnson. Realistically, my brain tells me came back from the injury, wasn't he's not ever going to be an explosive sack guy. He's really good at setting the edge. But Tivandre Sweat's a really good, solid player. But really, what it tells me is we talked about 3-4, 4-3, and that kind of thing. I don't think that this means, like when we say 3-4, I no longer think, after talking to Tigo, that it necessarily means you're going to see us lined up 3-4 all the time. I think that Vondre Sweat is a guy that's going to be playing nose tackle on first down every single first down of the season, right? Like you're going to see him lined up at first, but I think you're going to see a lot of nickel. I think 75% of our defense is going to be nickel, right? So there's going to be most of the time you're going to have Sweat run off the field. You're going to have four guys lined up on the line anyway, right? So it's going to look like, but it's going to look like a nickel 4-3, no different. But on first down, it's going to look like a 3-4. And I think there's going to be mixing and matching and lots of different guys blitzing and all kinds of weird things going on. But I think that's going to be more like the defense we see in Detroit, where you don't necessarily always know exactly what we're doing. And I think this affirms that. We are changing our personnel to allow Aaron Glenn to run the defense he likes to run.
I think you're right as well. Like, what do we see Quinnen play? Like at best 60% of the snaps, maybe 65. Well, Sweat, he's a guy he has never even hit that. I mean, his rookie year he had 700 snaps. His sophomore year, so to speak, he had 380. Like definitely a guy though. Every first down, pencil him in.
Yeah, goal line stance.
Correct. And if you see some, even just surface level. If you just look at some of his highlights, man, this guy is athletic as hell for his size. Like it's insane. I posted a short of his, like 30-yard fumble recovery. That dude has wheels, stiff arm, all kind of shit. Like he was moving. So like athletic as hell. I do think he can play almost sideline to sideline. Not that you're going to ask him to, but like the fact that he can is nice. And let's face it, Jermaine. I mean, I've pitched 10 Jermaine takes since this has happened. Let me just say, like, we were gonna have to pay him, and we haven't seen his ceiling in a while. It is what it is, man. We got. It's just like it's not that we lost this trade. It's not that we won this trade. I think it's just a reallocation of assets.
I don't want to
Like
pay. I don't want to pay an edge $15 million or more, whatever it is,
or
until
more.
it's the edge that gets us 15 to 20 sacks and stops the run until it's an elite player, and that's not going to be Jermaine Johnson. So whatever he's going to want to get paid, if it's 20 million, it's too much. Because I'm
Yeah.
sorry, I don't want to take up that much investment in an edge that doesn't get sacks. I want to wait and leave the space. We're going to draft the guy. I want the dominant edge. It's just, to me, I want a dominant edge. I'm tired of not having one.
And just last thoughts on this, like the reason why I prioritize Jermaine over Will McDonald is for the run D. Well, guess what? We've made like 12 moves to improve the run D. So like it spun what like the pecking order in my mind. Like initially it was Jermaine, keep, Will, trade. With all these moves we've done, that is totally spun out. And then now it's keep the guy that can get you like, hey, even 30% of snaps can just come in on third down and rush the passer, elite level. And then the run, the all encompassing, all around edge. Hey, let's face it, we're drafting an edge at 2 as well. Is more of a luxury that we didn't exactly need. I think trading Quinnen though did present the opportunity to get a guy like Sweat. Not that he's anywhere near the same player or as good, just the fact that like again, it's you traded Quinnen for all those picks, and then all you got to do is do a 1-for-1 here to kind of get a portion of that back.
You know what?
I'm okay.
Like Tico said, sometimes to replace stars, it's not with another star; it's by the aggregate. So, when you look at Briggs, who had one of the highest PFF rankings for a DT against the pass, like as a pass rush disruptor, and you look at Sweat. When you look at the two of them shifting in a rotation, when you look and combine them into one role, your defensive tackle, let's say on one side or wherever they're playing, combined Briggs and Sweat is a very, very solid football player. Like, for what they do, for each role they do. So they combine very well and very nicely. And what that does for us is we don't have to pay a guy $30 million to be good against the run and be a pass disruptor. We don't have to draft a guy in the first round for that. It's not going to be the strength of our team, but it's a solid combination.
Agreed. Another trade we had on the books, actually, like right before the tampering period opened, I think. What did you think of this trade I have on screen here, Jeremy?
It's an amazing trade. I mean, even if he's not the Minka Fitzpatrick he used to be, some people need to criticize everyone, right? Oh, he's past his prime. What are we talking about here? It cost us nothing. We get a seasoned guy in the league, and even him not at his best is still better than we've had forever. We haven't had a good safety forever. But you got a veteran guy back there who worked with the defensive coordinator's guy. We have a guy from Miami, a defensive coordinator, who knows Minka. They just were together, right? He just coached them. So it's a good fit. This guy's going to fit into what they want to do. He's super experienced. He's a former All-Pro. He's a solid guy. He's not going to lose us games. He might not win as many as he used to, but he's not going to lose us games. He's going to be a solid guy. He's going to shore up the room for the next couple of years. That's a good thing. We should be happy about that. Cost us nothing. Not a high salary. There's no pain in this.
Dude, Andy, I'm not gonna lie, he kind of excites me. Pause. Kind of interested to see how far back would you have to go, Jeremy, to find a more exciting safety that the Jets have owned?
Well, I mean, Marcus May / Jamal Adams. I mean, you have to go
Long
back.
time.
You have to go back to those times. That's when we had safeties. So I mean, look, this is just a good move, and anybody who wants to critique it, it's one of those people where I really shut those kind of people out, not like on Facebook or on X and whatever it is. I phase these people out of my mind because it's just not worth it. There's
Yeah,
nothing that's going to make them happy. Like if a move like this doesn't make them happy, they've decided they're going to be negative and anti whatever we do, so it doesn't matter.
agreed. Bosco chimes in and said, we had Tony Adams, man. This is definitely an
Yeah.
upgrade. There is a super chat. I see you, Luby. Just give me one moment because I don't know if Jeremy realizes or not, but the trades did not stop there, brother. There was another trade. Dying to hear your thoughts on the next one. See if I can cue it up here, and maybe preface it by saying what it is for our audio only listeners out there. Shout out JT.
Well, I see that we received Geno Smith and a 7th-round pick, and all we had in 26, and all we had to do is give up a 6th-round pick in 26. And we got Geno Smith, and I believe the Raiders are picking up most of his salary, so he's not really costing us that much money either. Where did we have Geno Smith on our list when we broke it down from the whole list to all the way to the top 3? Where did we have him again?
We had him top 3, baby.
Top 3. He made the top 3.
Yes,
So
he
I think
did.
we did a pretty good job. If we're, if you want to see where Moog's brain is at, and Glenn and what goes on in that room, watch our video from 2 weeks ago, because I think there might be an argument that we're thinking along the same lines as they were. When we were looking at, and we said we said a lot of people are not going to be happy with it. A lot of people are going to complain about Geno Smith, but when you shop in the bargain bin, in the bargain aisle, you know what I mean? Where all the buy one, get one frees and the 80% offs are, don't expect to get freaking Nike, like you're going to get what you're going to get. And we always knew that this was going to be a bridge quarterback. It wasn't going to be, no matter who it was going to be, it wasn't going to be anybody that knocks their socks off.
If you take Malik Willis and his price and his cost off the table, I don't think any of us, we're going to pay that or match that or beat that deal.
No.
Then Geno was technically second in the realistic options that we had. The only thing I would say to combat that is that ahead of him was Kirk Cousins. But getting one of your top 2 that was realistic is still a win. Like, I don't know, man. Like, I do feel like
they did not want Kirk Cousins because they could have had him. He's not right. I mean, he's still looking for a team. Kirk Cousins was for the taking. He probably wanted more money, and they didn't want to burn money on him because it's a bridge quarterback. And they probably thought, I don't know that you give us any more than Geno does, and Geno cost us next to nothing.
Geno, to me, too, has just a more live arm at this stage, like more mobility. Maybe not. Maybe he's a notch below cerebrally, like if that's even a word. But hey, if I'm surprised we put Kirk ahead of Geno, to be honest, because
I mean, I did it because Kirk had the higher ceiling. I thought of the most of his career as just a competent passing quarterback, and it was very hard for me to get over last year. Geno had such a bad year; it was such a terrible regression. But I looked at the highlights, I looked at the reels that the freaking Jets X Factor put out, and I saw, they made a very strong case that it was a shit show there. I'll say this. I think that it's more likely than anything that Geno Smith will fall and push back towards the mean of the last, like if you look at the last 4 or 5 years of his career, right? Tally all the last 4 or 5 years. His year is going to be somewhere better than last year, not as good as his best year in the last 5 years. You know what I mean? So he's going to be better than he was last year, most likely. He's going to have a better offensive line. Hopefully, we're going to get him another receiver next to Garrett. We got an emerging Mason Taylor. We have Brees Hall back. He's going to have a good offense around him. He has a pretty good coach in Reich. I think Frank Reich is a good offensive coordinator. Is going to do an okay job, especially with that offensive line. So I think you're going to get a Geno Smith that's better than, I don't know if he's going to be that much different than Aaron Rodgers was. But that's okay.
No. I honestly, I'm here for the story too, because like, bro, even he doesn't even have to play his peak for us to be happy. Like, and I wish I could tell him that he doesn't. Like, just don't be obviously last year in Vegas. Don't do that. But like, can you just get us to top 25 level quarterback play? Because it's sad how many years I can count on my fingers of us not even getting top 32 quarterback play. It's very sad because it's true. Like with Zach Wilson, and I mean, I could name names, but like how many times our quarterback finished like 34th, 35th? It's like, bro, I just want 25th.
I know.
Just give me 25th.
24th, 25th. At least it means the guy didn't stand there in the pocket for 5 seconds and keep getting sacked. At least it means maybe we didn't have 1, 2, 3 punt, 1, 2, 3 punt, 1, 2, 3 punt in multiple games, like literally all game. I mean, it was so bad, and that we've experienced so bad. That's why I said Aaron Rodgers. As much as it wasn't the Aaron Rodgers we all dreamed and hoped we were getting, at least it wasn't the incompetency compared to everything else we had seen for years. So, I mean, are we really arguing or thinking that Geno's going to be better than Aaron Rodgers was for us? No, at best he's going to be about the same. Then that would be great. That would actually be amazing if he was. And people are going to say, well, we only won 5 games. Well, yeah. So obviously his numbers looking anything like Aaron Rodgers' numbers would have to also accompany better balance, more of a running game, more effective running game, better time of possession. You know what I mean? And just better time, not losing games in the fourth quarter like we did that year.
And honestly, like I can't even pin a ribbon on Rodgers for that year because it wasn't a consistent trend the whole year. It was like boop, 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 boop.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
and the injury, like, I'm not saying it was his fault, but like, it's just, can I just get a consistent consistent below mid? I would sign up for.
But and the thing that Geno won't do that Aaron Rodgers did that hurt us was he kept the audibles, the constantly calling us out of running plays. Like it wasn't a professionally run offense. Like it was ridiculous. I watched us walk down the field running the ball. They couldn't stop us, and then suddenly we just started passing it and killed the drive. And I watched that happen several times, and it was the most irritating thing I had ever seen. And that was Aaron Rodgers.
Agreed. I'll have you. I don't know the word, the phrase I'm looking for, but like, I'll have you know that earlier I said cerebrally. I don't know if that's a word. Harlan chimes in and says, "Danger zone." That is a word.
Great.
I love Harlan.
Harlan he'll give you information.
Yep, he will. Okay, Chaos, rapid fire. And by that, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to throw like 3 defensive signings up on the screen. And you don't even have to discuss all of them, but like you can a la carte. I know you like a la carte, so you can pick your choice here.
And the Arcadian man, he lets you order a la carte when he takes you out. That's from the last dragon. Check it out.
Hold on.
Bruce Leroy. Show enough.
Hold on. Let's see. Okay. Here are 3, I think. Can you see all 3?
Yeah.
Okay. Buy me 60 seconds. You have the floor, sir. And I can hear you, but I do have to step away for a moment. I just want to get your thoughts on these 3 New York Jet signings.
Nahshon Wright's the most intriguing, the most interesting. Nahshon Wright, because what did we see? Was it a fluke last year, or was that the breakout season for this guy? If suddenly he found his legs and his speed of the NFL, and suddenly this is who he is. I mean, the guy has had a really good, solid year for the Bears. I don't understand how we got him so cheap. I don't understand, when you go by the position he plays, how we got him that cheap. I don't know what moves did. I don't know if he flew under the radar. I don't know. It's not like he's 34 and he just had a good year. I mean, that's not what we're talking about. This could be the start. Last year could have been the start of the rest of his career. I don't know, but he's the most intriguing because, I mean, who knows, man? This guy might stick around. We might have to extend him. Belton is just a good depth piece. He doesn't excite me, but he has a nose for the ball. The guy gets the ball, he turns things over. And then Onimata's a run stopping guy. Like, he's decent against the run, and he's just depth. It's just a bigger, deeper room with an experienced guy.
Dude, Nashawn Wright, man, that's another one I'm excited about. Like, what do you have? Like 5 picks last year?
And it wasn't like he had 5 picks and was terrible, like in every other play. And he was just like, where he just gambles. And then, like, he wasn't. His PFF score was fine. His pass defense was fine. I mean, I don't understand how we got him so cheap, but I'm going to stop saying it, and I'm going to stop wondering about it, and I'm just going to be happy we got him.
Yeah, agreed. Taking him off the board, man, but I just hope, like, there for a while, I kind of wanted Al Harris to come over here. I'm not going to lie. We didn't get him, but we got one of his most productive guys underneath him. I wonder, if that was a product of Al Harris. But at the same time, if you look at our coaching staff, damn near all of the defensive coaching staff has secondary experience. If they can't try to replicate that, man, I don't know what to tell them except goodbye. You don't even have to get 5 picks again. Just be a solid acquisition and get us 2 or 3. I'd be happy. Onyemata, like, I kind of missed what you said there, but another guy I'm excited about. And then Dane Belton, man, I love that signing. Not because he's a superstar, but because he is a up and comer. And I thought that we're getting him at the right age, like to possibly make some noise and at a very cheap price. I talked to a Giants fan the other day, and they're very excited for him. They wanted to keep him. They said he has a nose for the football. He's just there when you don't expect him to be. And dude, again, I think that safety room is leaps and bounds better than it was a couple months ago. I mean, Minka Fitzpatrick, Dane Belton. I'm probably missing a third guy, but like already it's better than Tony Adams. Oh yeah, we brought back Cisco, which is fine by me. Are you mad at the Cisco re-signing?
Well, it's 1.5 million guarantee, which means we can cut him. Like, we could cut him. Like, he's not going to definitively make the 53. But 1.5 million is still 1.5 million. It's a little confusing because what it tells me is when you get Belton and you bring back Cisco and you have the kid, that just played for you, and you have Fitzpatrick, right? Does that mean we're not drafting a safety? Because this is a pretty good draft. There's some pretty good safeties in this draft, and that's a little hard. That's a little hard pill for me to swallow. If we're not leaving some room for us to draft a safety, because I thought it's a good year to draft a safety.
And you said it kind of earlier with the CB situation. I don't put any position room off the table. I really don't this year. Next year I do, but this year, dude, best player available, and there's a strong chance that it's one of those selections that safety is going to be the best player available.
Yeah, I mean, there's a kid from, not that we're biased at all, but there's a kid that plays for this team called the Oregon Ducks, Dylan Finneman, and he is absolutely an extraordinary athlete, an extraordinary football player. And there's if he was there at 33, I promise you, there's a very, very strong argument that he won't even be there. But if he was, it's a very strong argument that he would be the best player left on the board. I don't see that many guys that would slip into the second round that are going to be better football players than him.
Dude, or EMW, that Warren kid, fantastic. Dude, I don't know how plugged in you've been in the last few weeks, but there's talk that Thieneman won't be there at 16.
I mean, it's possible. I mean, especially with Downs' injury,
Crazy.
but he's not going to go before Downs. But I guess it depends on the safety. There are people who value safety more than others. So some people, the way their mindset is safety slip, and they could be there in the second round, and other people are like, you're crazy. There's no way. I don't think this is a very strong draft compared to other years, and he's a great football player. I think there are other years where he would be more likely to make it to the second round. It's very hard to imagine him making it to the second round in the 26th draft. He's too good.
Agreed. There for a moment I was hoping to get him at 44 because it'd be a steal, but I don't see him being worth a pick in the teens. I know his combine was phenomenal. I'm just saying I would rather have a EMW in early round 2 than have Thieneman be our pick 16. That's all.
Yeah, I love that player. I love that player in the second round. So I've taken him in more mock drafts than I can count, Emmanuel. So
yep, I'm with you, man. All right, so shifting over, we still got a little bit of catching up, but we're through the bulk of it. A couple non-defensive players. Let's put it that way. I'm just going to throw on the board, and you pick your poison. Let's see, get this off the board. Okay, first up. Well, I'm going to do them all at once, but first up is that guy. We also have this guy. We also have this guy.
It was versatile. I like that.
We got this guy. All kind of signings, man. We even we retained this guy. Let's see who else.
Cade York.
We can throw this guy up there even though he's on defense. All right. Okay, Chaos. You have a whole freaking bevy of talking points. It's all you, brother.
So Demario Davis is a nice stopgap. He takes a lot of pressure off us. I still think, obviously, if it's the best player available, you jump at a good inside linebacker, whether it's CJ Allen or, whoever happens to be there when we're ready to take one. There's the other guy from Texas that I really like, Hill. But this makes it that, worst case, you have him and Sherman and Sherwood. And Sherwood as a Robin might be better than he was as a Batman. So with Demario Davis. So he might not be as weak. But if we have the opportunity to draft a great linebacker, hopefully we will. So I like that signing a lot. Davis, even though he's old, he hasn't lost that much. But keep in your mind, we're going to have to draft a really good inside linebacker at some point because he's not going to last forever, right? So whether it's this year or next year, Moogs is showing that he can make moves to fill in and have stopgaps and with decent players, solid players. Beck, glad to see him back. Surprised. I don't know if Frank Reich, different offensive coordinator, so no guarantee we were gonna want a sniffer. I still think he has work to do to make the 53, but he plays an interesting role for the team. And if they want him and they want to utilize a fullback, then fine. I think this is offensively the most interesting ad was Parham. Interesting that they wanted to move on for Simpson and go to him. When I did some investigation, some analysis, look what other people had to say. I think he's a step up from Simpson. I think there's a lot of evidence that he's a step up. So for less money, less commitment, better player. So hats off to our general manager. Great move. Specifically, he's good against the run. He's good against the pass. But he moves people in the running game. He's athletic. He can get to where you need him to go. It's a good move for us. He's a good fit. And he was the one good offensive lineman the Raiders had. Maybe people didn't look at the Raiders for that position because of how bad they were. And they overlooked the fact that his tape and his film shows that he's pretty good. Cade York is just going to be a kicker in camp competing with other kickers. He used to be a guy I used to draft in mock drafts in the 6 rounds. I used to love Cade York. He was great in college, the kind of guy who could kick a 60-yard field goal like it's nothing. But he struggled in the NFL. We'll see if he can, get a fresh start in New Jersey.
Dude, New York has a New York. Terrible. Boo. Okay, you kind of conveniently left out another guy that we re-signed.
Mitchell, I like for his versatility. He's a good backup guy. He could, if you lose a guard, he can come and play guard. If you lose a tackle, he could come in and play tackle. He's not a great player. You don't raise the right flags, but he's not. But I also don't panic anymore when Mitchell comes to the. He's evolved into a guy who could come into a game if somebody gets hurt, and he can hold the fort. You don't want to see it happen. You don't want to see it happen, right? We want our guys to stay healthy. We want the starting 5 out there, but how many guys? Like, there's not many guys that you can get to be the backup, because if they were really good that you loved them, they'd be starting somewhere. So the reality is, for a backup, Mitchell is okay for a backup, and the extra little oomph is the versatility, the fact that he can play all 4 spots but center.
We also kept Newman. Do you like that?
I don't love that. I mean, but I think I'm harder on Newman because of his name, to be honest. There's just something about it, I was a big Seinfeld fan. I'm just Newman. But you know what? He wasn't as bad. He never did anything that Van Rotten did. Like Van Rotten, Greg Van Rotten.
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
To me,
too.
was much more offensive as a player for our team. So I don't know. I mean, but yeah, I mean, this is what you get when you have to fill the room with some backup guys, and if they were really good, they would be starting somewhere. And I think there's a chance that we draft a guy in the 4th, 5th round. There might be, he might lose his job. He's gonna have to compete and win the job still. Still something he's gonna have to do.
Agreed. Anything you want to say about these last 2?
Depth. Just football players, real football players that are not embarrassing. Joseph Asai, I feel a lot better about him than I do Clemens. And Nagbar, here's a guy, run defender. I mean, I look at all these guys we added, they all know how to play the run. So, I mean, I don't think we're going to get shredded anymore. I don't think you're going to see, 7-8 yard runs like we're giving away free candy. I think we're going to be a tougher run defense, and I think that's an important place to start when you're rebuilding your defense.
So you're not going to sit here and squabble about how Asai is making almost $10 million a year and he's going to be our edge 4?
You have to pay a little tax sometimes to get people to play here. But I think we're going to have a rotation. I think he'll play a role. I think he'll be there on running downs. I think he'll help seal the edge, stop the run. I think that it's a little expensive, but we have no cap issues. After this year, we have so much money freed up, and we're not, and none of these deals, none of these things are locking us into anything long term. These are just stopgaps. These are guys that can assure that we're going to be able to stop the run this year. Just solid role players where we're going to be able to stop the run.
I'm with you in almost all of your assessments. Anything you want to say about us tagging Brees, but also putting the word out that we are not negotiating with him until not only after free agency, but also after the draft? Do you think that's just fodder because we're gonna put him on the block on draft day?
I mean, it's possible, but I mean, you got to understand, it's not like it's so weird or strange, right? I mean, you're talking about the entire month of May, June, and up until July to work out a deal with him. I think they want to work out a deal with him, and if they can't, maybe they're going to trade him, or maybe we're just going to have him play 1 year on the tag. I don't know. But because we're not going to win the Super Bowl next year, because we're not a real serious contender next year, it'd be weird to have him play on the tag and then lose him for nothing. And I don't think we're going to tag him again. So I think it's either we're going to sign him or he's somebody who's going to get traded.
Fair. And we could do that in October, right? Like we could do that anytime. Like he's with us until he's not. So,
I think that if their
um,
plan is to really sign him, if that's what they really want to do, I think they should do it by July.
do you think it has to be 3+ years?
I think he's going to want some of the third year, but it doesn't mean what will be stuck to him for a third year. So it could even be a 4-year deal, but it's one you can get out of after 2
Okay. I'm
without
with you.
without too much pain.
Yeah, but some folks will give him Kenneth Walker money now, and it just doesn't sound right to me because you divide that by 3, and that's what we're paying him this year. So just write it out. Like, Um, all right. Well, we got through most of the signings, Jeremy. Getting near the top of the first hour. We, not promising a full second one, but we do have a topic of the night we wanted to discuss. And that is, you know what? Let me do this. Let me just bring this up and see what the folks think of this. Your beautiful mug in damn near full screen. No, no, no. It's this photo from the thumbnail. Does this thumbnail mean anything to you, Chaos? Can you kind of tease what the hell this is talking about?
I did a video on this about 3 or 4 months ago, a while back. I mean, the beginning, right after the season. I got criticism for some people. You're starting problems, and I wish I knew who that person was now. Look, I don't know what's real and what's not real. I don't trust the media. I don't trust the stories that we hear. But I've always been a little concerned when they said, "Oh, they're just," when in the beginning when they initially said, "We're just working together. We're a team." That bothers me. I don't like that because a GM doesn't necessarily have the same goals as a coach when a coach is potentially going to be put on the hot seat. Aaron Glenn, and I don't blame him, needs wins. At all costs, he needs wins, right? To keep out of the hot seat. Moogs needs wins, but at the same time, he's a GM, right? He can't just there's no point in saving his job for a year if he's going to do it at the expense of ever being good and losing his job anyway. He has to think a little bit more, balanced. Now, I don't know that there was any shift in power or anything changed, and I don't know that Glenn is even near the hot seat. And maybe they are together, and I don't know if any of it's real. I do know that was, if the free agency told me anything, it's more of a Moogs free agency than it is an Aaron Glenn, because we didn't use the money to bring in stars to win as many games as we could this year. We used the money to fill in depth in the roster so we could start drafting young stars and then have decent players to keep us competitive as we fill in those spots with young players. And that's the move of somebody who's thinking more long-term, which would be Moogs. It's possible that Moogs and Glenn are on the same page, and that Glenn already has it with Woody, and they already know that, hey, this is a rebuild, and we're not going to, next year's still not going to be very pretty. And they're probably, it needs to be better, but it might not be the prettiest, but, it is what it is. We can't promise you 10 wins next year.
Wild Wave says he disagrees with that statement, Jeremy. Good luck figuring out which statement it was. I'm trying to find that out as we speak. But, just to sum it up for anybody who has been unplugged, early this week, I will say, if you guys know Mike Francisco, whatever the hell his name is, in New York radio, you guys know who I'm talking about. He came out and he boisterously said that his sources are saying that the dynamic has changed at One Jets Drive. Now Muji has moved up, Glenn has moved down, cemented moving forward until, otherwise. He's ahead of the curve because not a single beat said this, not anyone, not Justina, not Rosenblatt, not Rossini, all those S's, none of them. None of those S's are ours. He said that Jake Asman echoed it and reported that on his YouTube, got it out to thousands more fans. And then an hour or two later, Connor Hughes tweeted and he said, "Bro, this is false. This is not true."
Yeah, well,
My sources.
some fat loser talk show guy who does no preparation. He has writers that give him information as he's talking, and he just had an opinion. And he's like, his head's in the clouds. He thinks he's better than other people, and he thinks he's smarter than everybody else, and that whatever his opinion is truth. So he says it like it's true. And I didn't trust him for a second.
I don't know why people ran with it. I'm not going to lie, but they did. And, hey, you make 10 shows a week, you got to have content. But
He's the same idiot that said Arch Manning wouldn't come here if we drafted him.
Yeah.
He's the same idiot who said that. Just idiotic. Just so idiotic. Just making things up. When the Mannings already said they wouldn't do that again.
I mean, are you for sure believing Connor Hughes, though?
Yes, about that. Yeah, there's things about Connor Hughes is, I don't like his opinions on things sometimes. Like when he said, like I don't like when he watches games, man, he sees it from the lens of what he wants. Right? He'll say, "Oh, that was a great pass by Jackson Dart," and it wasn't. Right? Like he'll say things like that. He'll say, I think I wouldn't have traded Sauce Gardner. And to say that after it ended up being the 16th pick, the Colts made that pick when it was the 30th pick, the first one for this year. And they thought that they were really going to make a legitimate run at the Super Bowl. To say now that you wouldn't make that trade, knowing it's the 16th pick, and that next year it might be a top 15 pick again, a top 20 pick again, that you wouldn't make that trade is absolutely ridiculous. But at the same time, on the other side, I don't think Connor's lying. And I think that was like, especially when he says it so matter-of-factly. Connor is inside that world. He does talk to agents. He does talk to other coaches and people and has connections now. And I fully, fully believe Connor in that respect.
Facts. Okay, I'm with you because I didn't believe it even before Connor Hughes tweeted that. But then when I saw that he did, I was like, thank God, man. Somebody who actually you can't argue with. I mean, you can, but like, it's not a fan saying it. Like, I'm a fan, and I was saying it, but it doesn't hit the same as Connor Hughes saying it, especially claiming that he put feelers out and got the word back that it was false. It's the day and age of media these days. I mean, it's clicks, engagement. It's
Francesca has no context for the Jets. He's a Giants fan. He's done us no favors. He says nasty stuff about us all the time. The Arch Manning narrative is just him hating on the Jets, right? Trying to say hateful things, comes from nowhere, has nothing to back it up. You know how rare it is a player refuses to go somewhere where they're drafted? The fact that that's
one per decade plus.
One per decade.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Arch Manning would rather go play for Cleveland because that's been a great place to go play.
Yeah, or Arizona. Come on, who goes to Tucson? Like, what the hell? I'm just kidding. But I don't know if this spoils, a potential debate or not. I mean, we talked about a power shift. We are currently sitting here saying there is no power shift. Do we want to debate whether there should be?
Well, that's what I'm saying. I think that Moog should be in charge. And it's not anti-Glenn's talk. I just think if I'm running a football organization, I believe in the hierarchy that a general manager deserves. Like, the general manager is the guy you're hiring to run your team. And to me, personnel, it's not just personnel, it's also the coaching staff with that personnel. Yes, you have to work with that coaching staff. And it doesn't mean you can't fire a GM and keep the coach if you think the coach is doing a good job and the GM is just not doing a good enough job of getting them players. But at the end of the day, I believe I can't. Like if he keeps putting good players on our team and he drafts well, and if Aaron Glenn fails to be able to coach them, I'm not lumping Moogs with Aaron Glenn. He didn't hire him.
Okay. All right. So you're let's do this, Chaos, and this may be a flop or this may be fire. I can't tell, but coming into this, I thought about a potential debate occurring, and I said to myself, well, which side do I want? Look at this tug of war here. Which side can I debate? And then in my mind, I said to myself, you know what? I could make an argument for each of them individually. So, I texted you, Jeremy, and I said, I could go either way. I think you said just about the same thing. But
Sure.
then I kind of settled into, you know what? Glenn needs me. I need to defend him. And I'm not talking about every organization and the way that it should be structured power wise, or even ours. I'm just talking like performance the last 14 months. Do you think you could debate why Muji should have more power based on the last 14 months, Jeremy?
I mean, what has AG done to show he's good at hiring and picking people? I mean, we all know, if we're being smart, that the number one driver behind Justin Fields was Glenn, without question in my mind. We all know who hired his coaching staff, the one that he fired. Who hired his
who drafted Arian Smith?
I don't know. That could have been both. I don't know. I don't know that Aaron Smith was necessary. Like, again, I don't think he's going to end up being very good, but at the same time, it's hard to judge Aaron Smith because we didn't have a competent quarterback. We didn't have a competent offense. I don't know anything about our wide receivers because how could we judge them at all when you didn't have anybody to throw the ball to them? But that aside, I just think
Let's do this.
The debacle from last year, I think, was more about Aaron Glenn. Not that I'm saying I'm not picking on him. I'm not yelling that they have to fire him because of it. And that he
tell me, I'm Aaron Glenn. You are Muji.
Right.
Why do you deserve more power than me, Chaos? Tell me now.
Look, I'm the one that brought in Briggs. I'm the one that brought in Phillips. I'm the one that brought in the slot corner, or what's his name, Brownlee. The guys I brought in are good. I brought in real players. They're not stars, but they're real football players. I gave you real football players.
And you also got rid of some too. You got rid of Sauce. You got rid of Michael Carter. You got rid of Quinnen Williams. You got rid of.
You agreed, and I'll stand by that move. Sauce Gardner was not going to turn this organization around, but 2 first-round picks save us the money, save us $30 million a year, and we get the 2 first-round picks. It was a good move. Quinnen Williams,
good move is yet to be determined, because who the fuck are you going to pick? Right now, you just got rid of my talent. I got nothing to show for it, and you're just letting me take bullets.
You weren't winning with them. You were losing. If we were winning, I wouldn't have traded them.
Where's Jermaine? You got rid of him too?
I got you, Sweat. You're the one that wants to run a 3-4 on first down.
You've shown, you've shown a propensity to trade guys for assets that, you can build your reputation right now. You can get the love from the Jets fan base now. You know why? Because you haven't had to use the picks yet, brother. Wait until you have to use the picks and half of them bust, bro. So just wait. Enjoy your throne right now. I'm going to win games faster than you're going to make excellent choices.
I think that they did everything together. I think we did everything together. Man. I don't know. Do we really know who did what? The truth is, we both have to live with what we did last year, because every move we made last year, we made together.
You know what I'm skeptical of you for, as Aaron Glenn and you as Darren Muji. I'm skeptical of you because the saving grace we have pinned into your chest are trades, bro. Okay. Outside of that, what have you done? You took a Membu, surefire pick, 7th overall. You've taken Mason Taylor in the 40s. We might get that ROI back. I'm not sure, but right now it's like medium. AZ Thomas looking good. Couldn't even finish his first year though. After that, nobody. Okay.
Dude,
The
you did a
trades.
dance
Hey,
down.
wait, let me finish. The trades look great. You haven't had to use the picks yet, so I can't give you credit for them yet. Now, once you can blow me away, you can secretariat my ass. Clip that. You can secretariat me once you can make these picks, and they're good. But until then, I mean, all you've done is send talent away and acquire future stocks that may or may not be good. What I've done
Lost with that talent that I traded away.
What I've done is my rookie year, you've given me 25% of my cap dead. 70 million last year, kaput. Okay. This year, 90 million. That's 33% of the cap. Kaput. Nothing, man. Also, a quarterback who went infant on me, and I don't know. Hey, we don't know who chose him, blah, blah, blah.
You loved them.
I'm just saying, man,
Who's the
what
grandmaster?
I've done is kept that group together and kept new people coming in sing my praises this off season. They wanted to come here because of their conversation with me.
Maybe they like people who do moonwalks and funky grandmaster funky funk dances on the sideline 2 minutes before you give up a drive to cost us and lose us the game.
I can also dance better than you, man.
How
I don't
about
know.
well, how about dancing and doing a victory dance after you've won the game instead of right before you lose the game?
I learned my lesson there. I did.
And
All
what
I'm
is
trying to say,
pants? What is it with those pants? Flood's
Dude.
over, buddy.
Dude, we need to throw a party so my pants can meet my shoes. Yeah.
Look, those two
not my
can go
best,
back.
but
Those two guys can go back and forth all day long.
Let me just say this though: did I not fire Engstrand when nobody said I should? Backbone.
Well, you didn't have the backbone to fire him. You just told him he wouldn't be calling plays, and then he had the backbone to leave and say "fuck you."
Damn you!
But look, the truth is, there's a lot of they're tied together in some ways, but that doesn't mean they're tied together in if one of them is fired. Like I think there's a world where either one of them could be fired without the other one being fired. I think it's more likely if that was to happen. If you told me one of them is going to get fired in a year and a half from now, and one of them isn't, I would predict. I don't know about you, but I would predict it's Moogs that it's AG that gets fired. That's what I would predict because of the good contracts that have been made, the trades that have been made. Like they still have yet to. I mean, at the end of the day, Moogs is going to be responsible too, right? Because after a certain amount of seasons go by, you look at the GM and say, "What's the record? Are we getting better?" Right? And if we're not getting better, he's gone. Right? So I mean, they both have to start winning.
Right. I just think that, and my whole point with this whole thing is like, anyone can look good if you take commodities and you push it into future years because we don't have to then see what you made out of it for a long time. Muji did that, and he has made good trades. He's made good trades for now as well, but also like most of his work is ahead of him. Don't build a statue yet. You know, we had a whole show Friday. Should we be building there's a lot of people, bro, building statues. I don't know if you've been plugged in while you were in Tucson. There's a lot of people building statues, man. It's like A- off season, A, B plus. Can we just wait, man? And
Well,
the only thing,
we all know
the
that's a
only
lot.
other thing, hold on, let me just finish that point. Like the only other thing I would say is we don't know how freaking much Woody loves Aaron Glenn. That is a whole nother wrinkle that we're not like this. That can throw every calculation, every analytic you want to look at on who's better. That can throw it all out the door. If, in my opinion, could be the case. If Woody Johnson just loves Aaron Glenn, Muji's dime a dozen, man. Aaron Glenn, the Jets lore, all that, like he could get a little more of that tug of rope. That's all I'm saying.
It's possible, but at the end of the day, I agree with you on that. Like draft grades mean nothing to me. The grades of trades, it means nothing. Right? It means nothing. Just like you said, what if we took Mekhi Lemon at 16 and he's like the top 3 wide receiver in the NFL in 2 years? Right? I mean, then you're gonna right away you're gonna grade that draft different. That trade, right? That trade's gonna have a different grade. But you know what? There's only one grade that matters. What is our record in 2 years from now? What is our record in 3 years from now? That's all that matters. Every one of these grades could be an A. If we're 5 and freaking 12 in 2028, they're fired, and it's meaningless. It's like, so at the end of the day, you're right. We don't really know the grades. We don't know anything. All we really should look at is the team winning more games than they used to? Are we getting better? And I don't care in 2028 if we're a playoff team. I don't care if some of the trades or the draft picks were a mistake. I don't care, because that's every team. No team drafts, every draft pick is perfect. No team, every trade is perfect. It's never going to be perfect. There's only one thing you could do to judge it. In 2028, if we're a playoff team, they did something right.
Correct. And I'm with you. It's going to take time. The unfortunate thing with the Mekhi Lemons and the 2 to 3 years from now, it's like, are either of these guys here 2 to 3 years? Like, that's all I'm saying is like we all lean Muji doing a better performance thus far. Unfortunately, we need to realize that coaching, you can evaluate, like you see the wins and losses immediately. GMs, it takes years to tell. That's all I'm trying to say. And Muji, like he's made fantastic trades that the value he's acquired for the player, we all agree were great trades. He still has to use them smartly, and unfortunately, we're not going to know the conclusion of that until they happen, and the player is here for us for several years. So, like, I'm not crowning him yet, but I do acknowledge that the pecking order should be normal. It should be traditional, man. Like Muji, Glenn, like it should be, but also they have to work together. They do. Because if you're not getting the players that fit the coaching staffs that you've hired and assembled together, if the players you take don't fit that, you're just wasting years. Like, and no one's promising you a second head coach to choose. And I'm not saying you even chose the first one, but like nobody's saying that Muji is automatically getting to choose a head coach at some point. But at the same time, like they're in tandem. They are. Chaos. I think that that concludes our debate. I think the chat enjoyed it. Hopefully, I think we could probably debate it all off season, including post draft. Would you agree?
Yeah, it's the kind of thing, it's the kind of thing that can be debated, but it's the kind of debate I don't want to have. Like, I think I lean with you on, let's just root for our team and talk about the team and the moves they're making and forget about all this fire Glenn fire moves. Let's just leave them alone and let them do what they're going to do. And we can react to it. We could say we don't like that move, we like that move, but we could also be honest that we're just using our opinions. We're just regular people. We don't know for sure, and some of it might be good and some of it might be bad. But at the end of the day, what's gonna judge if they're doing a good job or not is their record. right? In a few years, we will know. We're going to say, and we're not going to have to wait a few years because we'll see it happening. If they come out next year and go 2-15 and it's all garbage and everybody's in the wrong place and it's just a mess, I mean, I think we all have our answer. But if suddenly we're very competitive and there are some things that look really good and the guys that we pick, the new players, the draft picks that we pick are looking really good, and we might have a star, like let's say we take Reese and he looks like a star, like if that's happening and we have something to be excited about, let's focus on that. Like, I mean, and that was like, I think we started this offseason, you and me saying it and agreeing, oh my God, is it going to be 5 months of having to listen to people cry, fire Glenn, fire Glenn? Like, oh my God, if they don't fire him, they don't fire him. Like, now just shut up about it. Like, everybody needs to just shut up. He's
lock in. Lock in. Lock in. Yeah. I'm with you. It's the time for that's over. Lock in. The time for discussing Jermaine is over. It's time to lock in, man. Now, like, and that's what I mean. Like, I want Muji to secretariat this fucking trajectory and just hit these fucking home runs, because then you still have the chance that Glenn catches back up as well with elite coaching. Could you imagine both happen? Like, let's go, man. We can reset, dude, rebuild immediately.
We know the players like Glenn, right? Mm-hmm. That much we know. We saw the report card. We see what they all say. There's not a hint of any other reality. They like him. Now, that's not everything, right? It's not a popularity contest. You're not a great coach because the players like you. I think it's a very good thing, though, right? I think when you win 3 games and players come here and have the gall to say, I came here because I want to play for Aaron Glenn, I think that got to make you feel a little bit better about what happened last year, in the sense that the players aren't thinking he's this disaster. They're just thinking the Jets were a disaster and that it was not enough time to turn this disaster around, and that they believe still that he's going to, right? They could be wrong. Yeah. They could be right. But at the end of the day, even if you don't think you're a Jet fan, you don't think he's going to turn it around. Okay. Shut up. Like, okay. If he doesn't turn it around and when we suck, then he'll get fired eventually. And you'll say, I knew it. He sucked it, whatever. But if suddenly we make the playoffs, I'm not saying we're going to make it next year, but let's say we're really good next year, much, much, much more improved, very excited about certain players. Following year, draft more players, better offseason, tons of money, and then suddenly we make the playoffs. Then everybody's going to shut their mouths, right? And everyone will shut up. And suddenly no one will take ownership of they wanted him fired, right? Suddenly it'll go away and people will be like all of a sudden very tight-lipped about it. No one, suddenly people are going to say, oh, I was mad at him.
People need to take receipts now. Like, can we actually hold people accountable for their takes? You know what? Luby chimes in. We have a caller on the line, Jeremy, but I want to get to this super chat. It's been a little while on this. Luby says $2 throwing down. Will the Jets meet with Love and Price when at Notre Dame? What do you think of that? Do you have a take there?
I think that there's a strong possibility they will. I think that, look, Love is not going to be there at 16. But at the same time, we've seen crazier things happen. And if he's there at 16, I wouldn't be so quick to say that we wouldn't take Justin Love if he was there at 16. Like, I know there are people that are so adamant against it. It doesn't make sense. Look, he's not going to be at 16. So when you talk about a player who has no right being there at 16, you have to have the conversation. Like, you can't just sit there and say he's a running back. No. Because this guy, if he hits his ceiling, is not just a running back. He is like, remember, he's like Henry, Adrian Peter. He's a franchise-changing football player, potentially. He might change the franchise completely. And I don't think people are thinking about that enough. I think you got to meet with him, just in case. Because if that guy somehow slips to 16, you better have met with him. So at least you can make your decision after talking to the kid, right?
I do. I wonder, though. I don't think he's talking Love at 16, Jeremy. I think he's talking Love at 2. But let me just read this tweet from Rosenblatt, because it is a huge week for Jets coming up. Not, I mean, we've been looking at last week all this whole stream, but like Tuesday, going to Notre Dame to see their prospects and possibly get a look at CJ Carr, the quarterback, if he works out. Obviously, Love and Price as well. But is there any world where, Jeremiah can do something to actually put his hat on the table for number 2 overall?
Not for us. No. Maybe Tennessee trades up if they're afraid someone else is going to take them. I don't see that happen. I'm not predicting that. I'm not saying that makes any sense to me. The mock draft on PFN seems to think it's a great idea, but I just don't see the Jets taking. And let me tell you something. I'm very, very high on Love. Like, I'm very high on him. I think there's a very strong possibility he's going to be a franchise altering player, like Henry was for the Titans. Like, a guy like that is the team, right? Like, when the Colts were 7-1, it was their running back. It was Jonathan Taylor. Okay, and Daniel Jones played fine, but obviously the team played fine. But I'm telling you, the star of that team was Taylor. And then when everybody started keying on him and nobody else could pick up the slack, that's when they started to lose games. And then Jones got hurt. That's what happened there, right? So that this is the kind of guy that's going to make teams do that, right? Obviously, when the other team starts to key on that one player, you have to have other weapons and other ways to attack to make them pay for that decision, right? So, but he is that guy. He's going to force the other team all week long in their game plan to focus on his name. How are we going to stop this kid? That's the ceiling that this kid has. Not for us, though. Not at
Yeah.
we are going to stop anyone defensively.
We are going to Notre Dame. I find that interesting. I also find interesting, the prospects of the Jets having an RB1. I think that would be awesome. Something I haven't seen in quite some time. But at the same time, at 2, no. Hey, maybe we can feign interest. I don't know who we're going to fake out and juke on this. We have pick 2. We know who pick number 1 is. So, you know what? Hey, we have the very first pick after Mendoza goes of the whole draft. So, like, why are we feigning interest in Love? I don't think we are. I don't. I think that we are, Jeremy said it. We could trade with Saleh. We could. We've done it. We could do it again. But you know what? I think we're planting our seed all over the place because, in my opinion, Muji is a due diligence guy. He is a look under every rock, every stone. He is look, he's brought in guys via trade. He's going to do it in UDFA. He's going to do it in draft. He's not going to do it on day 3. Okay, I didn't say that. But I hope he can do it on day 3. But for real, I think he's going to be a logical guy. I think he's going to do BPA damn near every selection. I do. People don't want CB at 16. Dude, there's too many mocks, too many prognosticators, and too many fans projecting the Jets picks based on need. And I'm tired of seeing it, man. Because I guarantee you Muji's going to go into every single selection and pick the best player. Fuck need. And I'm telling you right now, it could be a Will McDonald scenario again. It could at every damn pick. I'm telling you, man, like, be prepared. Everybody wants Reese and they want Lemon at 16 and they want Pregnon at 33 and they want Aller. And it's like, bro, the board is going to fall the way Muji wants and he's going to take advantage and you're not going to like it at first, but God willing, it'll be better than last year's results.
If that's the case, if that's true, then there's no question. And I know it's a 1% chance, but it's a chance. It happens. We've seen it happen. If Love somehow was there at 16, based on what you just said, 100% we're taking him. But I just don't believe that there's going to be 15 other teams.
No, there's not.
Run to the podium.
No. Love will go top 5. I'm telling you, top 7.
Right.
Like,
Tennessee, I can't see Tennessee letting him go by. I can't.
I mean, they could take Styles, but I still don't think he exits the top 10. Do you?
Right. I mean, the only reason I think there's any question that Tennessee is not taking Love, the only reason is because it's Salah. Right. So there's a reason to say, oh, well, he loves Edge, right? We've seen him do it everywhere he is. When he went back to the Niners, what did they do in the draft? Edge tackle, like defensive line. They just went nuts, right? Wherever he goes, it's defensive line. That's the argument, or middle linebacker, right? I mean, because he loves to have a good linebacker in the middle. So, but if it was any other coach, there wouldn't be a question. Like, how do you not take this kid? He's special. He's not like it's not. I know people say running back, luxury position. Not this. This guy he changes the offense completely. If he hits a ceiling.
Dom's in the house. I would love to know his thoughts of Love even exiting the top 10. I don't think that's even a 1% chance, to be honest. 16, I think, is just not even worth talking about. I don't even know if Lou was talking about it, but one thing Dom did say, he skirted in and he said the following, Chaos. He said, "This is the best show with the two best hosts, hands down." Chaos, what do you think of that?
I think it's a very nice compliment. Maybe that's why he brought me a hoagie the last time I saw him.
I think even Helen Keller could get down with this comment, Dom. I love it. I love it.
Loves to feed me.
Good guy, that Dom, man. You got to get back to the combine with him next year. You can only you got to go at least every other year. Chaos.
The Senior Bowl, you mean the Senior Bowl
or the Senior Bowl? Yes.
I might be able to go next year. It's hard, man. It's hard until I get my my full license. When I get my full license, it's a little bit easier.
Dom says hoagies for everyone. Ozzy, new to the channel. He says you guys are killing it. Okay. Anytime it's like the Fire Glenn takes. Anytime I see too many people saying the same thing, I go the opposite way. So now that Dom and Ozzy have both said we're killing it, Chaos, I'm going to have to say that we suck. We're terrible. Just the way it works.
If Dom wants to come in and talk about Jeremiah Love, that'd be great. But I only got, I actually realized I only got 10 minutes left. So.
Okay. You know what? Why don't we invite Dom next Sunday, man? I think that would be excellent.
Absolutely. Yeah,
dude.
Yeah.
We have not had a full-on guest host in Chaos in the Zone ever, so he could be the very first. What we have
would make sense.
What we have had, Chaos, is short-term call-in hosts. I have one of those for you before you leave. Okay.
Sure.
So you got 10 minutes. Ozzy, appreciate you, man. Dom, I love you, man. Dom.
Thanks for supporting the show.
All right. Without further ado, let's bring out a caller for Chaos before he exits. See what this guy has to say. I'll tell you, Chaos. Yeah, I don't know if you know who this guy is, but looking at him in the green room, I would say he is a very beautiful person, beautiful soul. One that you spoke of tonight. So let's see if that narrows it down for you or the chat, who may be wondering as well. Without further ado, the one, the only
Charles.
I had a great day today, guys. How was your day, Jeremy?
It was a pretty good day. Out of nowhere, my wife made me realize no more putting it off. We have to stain our deck outside. And so I went from having a regular uneventful day to spending $370 on stain and supplies. But it's better.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. Well,
better than paying someone $1,500 to do it.
I had a pretty eventful day. I went to this comic store I really like in my state, New Jersey, called Main Street Comics and Toys, and I got this.
Wow, you got Spider-Man and Batman together, Marvel and DC. It's like on a
Back in the 90s. It was like this was published back in the 90s, man. And this
See, you know
upcoming
what?
Wednesday, the
You know
Marvel
what?
DC is releasing a new Superman and Spider-Man crossover, and it's written by Mark Waid and drawn by Jorge Jimenez. And I'm gonna pre-order it on Tuesday.
Hell yeah.
Wow.
Hell yeah, Charles.
Charles clearly interested. Jeremy's there. I think that's amazing. I had no idea they've ever crossed Marvel and DC. That's like the craziest, most wild thing. I that must have
They
been
have
after
they
Stan
have since 1976 with Superman and Spider-Man in this comic called Superman versus the Amazing.
I can't believe
It was a
Stan
great
Lee let
crossover.
that happen.
That's another comic I want to check out too, but this one is something I really wanted to read for years for
Keep it in
myself.
keep that in mint condition.
Oh, I definitely plan on doing that. Trust me. When I get comics, I plan on treating them as if they were my children.
Good.
But,
I'd wear rubber gloves when I read it. I'd read it so carefully with the pages. Don't fold them. You really want it to be in excellent condition, I think.
100%. Plus, I've been a comic book fan since I was a kid. I've read Scooby-Doo comics. I've read Disney comics. I read Archie comics. I love comic books. I think they're a great source of literature when they're written well. And I can't wait to read this one when I get the chance. So, I had a good weekend. I spent time with my friend Preston yesterday. Got a couple of miniature Lego minifigures. I'm just so excited, man. I can't wait for the draft party where I'll go in Hoboken to meet Ryan Delaney, Green Bean, and Matt O'Leary. Can't wait to meet them. I'm just really looking forward to this shit, man. I really am. But as for the Jets,
favorite guy, a person like the Jet, like forget about number 2 for a second, because I think that's the more boring one. I think the really interesting pick is 16 because we don't really know who's going to be on the board.
My favorite player in this draft is Jeremiah Love, and he's been my favorite college player that I've watched since Mohamed Sanu. But I think there's a percent chance he could go to either Seattle. They could use a running back. They let Kenneth Walker shock the shit out of me, and he went to Kansas City. Yes, I'm a junkie, a good junkie. Don't do drugs, kids.
Hey, I take offense to you saying you're a good junkie. What are you trying to say, Charles?
Well, you got crack cocaine, you got meth. Weed is one thing, but crack is fucked up. Anyway, enough about that shit. I really like Vega Ione from Penn State. That dude is a beast. I do like the 2 wide receivers from Indiana, Surratt and Omar Cooper Jr. I do like Bain, not the comic book character, but I like him too, but I do like Ruben Bain from Miami. I do think that Ava Reese has a lot of potential. I disagree with, I do understand where Clancy's coming. I'm shouting out to Clancy that he may be another Micah Parsons, but he needs to work on his game a bit more. You know what I'm saying? Micah Parsons is a phenomenal pass rusher. And while he's good against the run, you can still run on him. You know what I'm saying? But I think Avery still needs some coaching to really be that next Micah, because people said the exact same shit about Abdul Carter, and while he's got a lot of potential, he's still got some work to do. So there's that. As for the whole bullshit of Arch Manning look, the Mannings are a classy family. They know better. As much I enjoyed watching Peyton and Eli, am I a fan of their nephew Arch? I need to see more from him. Because Peyton and Eli, they were good college players. Obviously, Peyton being the better one. But Arch Manning, sometimes he has his good days. Sometimes you're like, what the fuck is he doing? Sometimes he looks good. And other times you're just like, what the hell is he doing? You know what I'm talking about? He's inconsistent in my opinion. Do I think he has the potential to be good? Of course he does. He's got the genetics. His grandfather was an NFL quarterback. His uncles were NFL quarterbacks. His father, Cooper, was a wide receiver that couldn't play anymore because of a bad injury, because of a condition. So he's got the football genetics. But we shall see. But
we shall.
I just can't wait, man. I just can't freaking wait. It's good seeing you guys again and on the screen, obviously. Not leaving, yeah, but I'm just saying it's good seeing you guys, man. I just
It felt like goodbye. I'm sorry.
yeah,
I was starting to weep.
but no, with all due seriousness, I'm definitely had having a good day today. I've been doing a good job taking my meds. Thankfully my dad gave me my cholesterol and ADK medication.
Good.
I have high cholesterol in my family. We have high cholesterol in our family. History of
Yeah.
cholesterol, heart, diabetes, all that crazy shit. Another message, folks: take care of your health, not just your mental, but your physical health too. You'll live longer. Eat your green vegetables. Don't listen to Gary. Eat your vegetables.
Charles, your internet is bugging, man. I just wanted to say I love you, brother. Have a good week ahead. We will catch you on Friday night. All right.
No problem. I'm sorry. I'm keep bugging out. Peace out.
Yeah, man. All right. You were in a blender there, brother. Have a good one.
That was a great effect, though.
I hope he watches it back because it was very, very blenderized. Chaos, I know you got to go. I know you want to say hi to this guy.
Oh, what's up, brother?
What's happening, Jeremy?
Oh man, you right here, right when I have to go. But I'll try to listen as I leave. Like I really wanted to hear your opinion. I think of Jeremiah Love. Like what you think of that. I mean, not at 2. I said not at 2, no way. But at 16, you run to the podium. I don't know your feelings about that.
Yeah, you probably do that, but I don't think he's getting this. I don't even think it's coming close to getting to 16.
No, I don't think so either. So.
Yeah, his absolute floor is 7. He's not getting past the Redskins, the Commanders.
So makes sense. I gotta run. Sorry, guys, but I wish I could have stayed. Dom, you should join us next week, though, man. We'd love to have you.
I will. The next 2 weeks, I will be traveling. We are. I'm leaving for Florida on Friday night, and I won't be back until Easter Sunday. So maybe Easter Sunday. I mean, I know Jeremy's not celebrating Easter.
Maybe the 12th. You know, who knows? The Sunday after.
All right,
hey,
man.
Chaos. See you, man. Chaos. Dom, I don't know if you exclusively called to talk to Chaos or if you have.
Of course not. I like I said, I was just doing some work, some busy work that I had to do. I'm not even like in my computer crapped the bed today, my PC. So I ran that shit over to the Geek Squad, and they gotta strip and then reinstall the operating system. So right now I don't even have a computer in my office, so I'm chilling on the phone, man.
Dude, you're coming in clear, loud. I love it. Your camera. No, your camera is doing good. Let me see if I can get it to where it's like a. Is that too?
Look at that,
is that
man!
too?
Beauty.
Is that too close? Too close. It's hard with the portrait mode. But talk to me like if you do have a few minutes. I'm just curious.
I got a few minutes, bro.
So many people are talking 2 and 16. Chat, let us know what you want to ask, Dom. But like at the same time, I wonder like what's best case scenario, like 33-44 for you?
Well, I mean, it's a hard question to ask unless we determine what we did at 2 and 16, right? If it's Arvell, Reese, and a wide receiver, let's just play whatever. It doesn't matter which one. Then for me, if it's 33 and 44 and you're talking about sticking and picking, you got a couple different ways you can go. And this is probably the tier or the way that I would do it is first, between those 2 picks, you have to come out, I think, with a safety or an interior offensive lineman. And maybe, third on that list, maybe a 5-tech, like a defensive tackle that can kind of play defensive end in a 3-4. Because remember, even if Harrison Phillips does that, you have Juwan Briggs, Harrison Phillips, and now David Onyemata, who are all on 1-year contracts. So it's a position, if that's the avenue, you're thinking down the road, that's the position that I think you need to fill. And lastly, I'll say this. I don't know if I would do it, but just because I think this could probably wait till day 3, is I think cornerback, CB, not quarter, but cornerback could be in play. So I'd probably go in that order that I said. I don't think the
Dude,
linebackers are in play. I hope, everyone understands that I want a linebacker more than anything, but the guys that they're wrapping themselves around right now are all day 3 guys.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
I heard your boy's coming in for a visit.
who's that?
Your favorite?
Betchner?
Yeah. Yep. Your
Fuck
favorite linebacker from Oregon. Yep.
He's one of the top 30s?
He's the 30 visit. That doesn't mean anything. I mean, no disrespect.
It doesn't.
Doesn't mean anything, but they want him to come in and visit and meet that on a 30.
That actually blows me away because, like, watching him this season, I was in my head thinking, like, late day 3, special teamer.
And it very well might be. You know what I mean? It very well might be because remember, look at the 20 or the 30 visits that the Jets have had over the past what? I think I logged at least 3 years. Let me see. And you could see how many of the guys that they came in for visits actually got drafted. Most of them are all day 3s. So you talk about, hang on a second. Find this on the computer. Yeah. In 24, they had a 30 visit on Quantez Stiggers. He was a 6th-round pick. They had a 30 visit with Jordan Travis. He was a 5th-round pick. They had a 30 visit with Malachi Corley. He was an awful 3rd-round pick. And that's it. So they only had – I'm sorry, go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say, like, I wonder how many, like, went right before we chose or something, you know what I mean? Like, whereas, like, we passed on them and they went right after, like, big difference, if you ask me. But the fact that 3 of them hit, though, that's not – I mean, I wonder what the other team's batting average are as well. It's definitely slow season.
You get guys in there that you want to talk to for different reasons. Here's last year's. Just so you know, here's last year's 30 visits. Dean Clark, the safety out of Fresno State, undrafted free agent. Okay. Arian Smith, wide receiver, Georgia, 4th round. Armand Membu, okay, that's an easy one. But they also had a 30 visit last year with Asa Pole. If you remember, he was the guard they claimed off waivers, and then ultimately released when he didn't get any
from Kansas City.
Yeah, he went to Kansas City. They cut him, or we claimed him, and then he went back to Kansas City. So, like I said, past couple years they've had 3 of their 30 visits. Now they don't always have 30 of them. I don't know how many they have actually, to be completely honest with you, but he's coming. There's a lot of linebackers on the list, man.
So, okay. First off, I want to, about your initial well-encompassing take. I just want to say shout out because, like, you have corner on the board. And aside from me, man, there is not many people that even can see it or approve of it. Dude, I'm not a Stevens guy, so that's weighing heavily on me here. But, like, if they take a corner, and obviously I think that they prioritize that position, Glenn, the whole staff being secondary guys, the state of our room, another thing, like, I'm down, man. If you spend a top 33 pick on a corner, I'm not balking at it.
And listen, it's the right. I don't, like I said, out of the 4 that I listed, I think for me that one would be 4 of 4. But I'm not opposed, like you said, if they're in love with a guy, and you think about Glenn, and I think specifically about 2 guys that I think 2 guys in that 2nd round area that I think he'll fall in love with, and Brandon Cisse from South Carolina, and Colton Hood from Tennessee. So I think if either one of those guys are there, I'm sure they're going to have discussions about him because there's probably no better fit to an Aaron Glenn, type than those two in this draft class.
I love that. I will look at both those guys. I've heard of Hood, obviously.
Hood is
Everyone.
I happen to be Hood's like my 17th ranked player in the class. He's wonderful. Cisse's a little bit further. He's in the top 50, but he's probably closer to 50. But yeah, I mean, you talk about big and not humongous, but like bigger, longer arms, physical press man guys. Both of them have ball skills. Both of them, turn the ball over. And Cisse is not very physical in defense, and he's also very, very grabby. So he could be a little bit of a long transition. Like I don't think he's the guy that is going to see the lion's share of time this year. Whereas I think a guy like Colton Hood could compete with Brandon Stevens or AZ Thomas, because they're out of that Stevens contract next year. I mean, I know there's a third year, but more than likely they'll move on. They have an out. I think they can move on from Sherwood too if he doesn't kind of respond to the new scheme.
Correct. And I just wanted to, aside from my take, I want to circle back. You said like roughly 4 positions that were pretty large needs. How many of those are deep in the draft?
The safeties are probably the deepest. They might be the deepest class overall. You're going to get guys that start, relatively quickly in their career. I'm not saying they're walking into a training camp day one starters, but will be starters at some point pretty early this year. I mean, you're talking. There's a good 10 safeties like that. Now, some of them are like, that hybrid kind of slot safety. Whatever you want to call it. Some call it the rover and whatnot, but they play in the post and they'll sometimes man up in the corner, kind of like what Minka Fitzpatrick does. But there's probably about 10 of them, 8 to 10 of them that are going to start pretty soon. So I think that's the deepest. Out of those, I don't think the interior is all that deep, but there's just a lot of interior positions to fill, so it's usually a bigger class. It's an okay class. Yeah, I would guess D tackle would be the way I would go. D tackle.
That's the one you can wait on, or the one you need.
No, I think it's the one you can wait on. I think it's the one that you can wait on more, like right after the safeties. The one that you can wait on a little bit. Not a lot of top heavy in that D tackle class, but I think there's a lot of good rotational or scheme specific spots. You want a 5 tech, a big burly guy who can take on the run. You can get those. If you're looking for a 3 tech and you want a guy that's like little and shifty and can cause chaos in the backfield by splitting guys, there's that type. There's just not all that true 3 down, Jalen Carters of the world.
I'm with you. I want to ask you this because I kind of talked about it with Chaos, and we do have a couple super chats, but I got to ask you, like, we all know the positions we want Muji to take, but like, how much do you think he cares? How much do you think he buys into the need-based draft being this year? Because I'm starting to think that this is a BPA draft and next year is the needs. Am I crazy?
I don't think you're crazy, but I don't know. Like, it's hard to say, though, Dano. Like, if can you say they're drafted for needs? I mean, they need everything. You know what I mean? Like, all right, we just talked about it. We obviously know they need a quarterback. You just talked about what we need on defense, right? I think a 5 tech. You have a lot of guys that are band-aids on the bullet hole, right? At some point, you have to start backfilling the pipeline of some of these positions. We talked about the corner, to a more extent, the interior of the defensive line, right? We talked about all those guys leaving. To more extent, just look at all the 1-year contracts that we signed. The linebacker room, Actually, I shouldn't say that because DeMario is more than a 1 year contract. But I digress.
I mean, if you look at our 2027 and 8 roster, it thins out quick.
Oh man, does it ever? So I think we have needs all over the place. So to say it's a need draft would be pretty easy. Um, I don't see. To me, I'll say it like this: I think the best case scenario, and what I really think Muji's going to do, is you know not necessarily just take the best player available, but like work the board with an eye to 2027. I think the mastermind, and believe what you want. I wouldn't be surprised at some point if it starts to go a little haywire. If the old man doesn't tell him, "Hey, prepare, do what you need to get Arch." Can't you just see? Can't you see the old man wanting Arch Manning in here, whether he's the best quarterback or not?
I do. I do. It's like chess pieces, man. And I think that he would love to throw that in his trophy case. Like, hey, there's nothing else in there, right?
I agree.
Couple rapid fires for you, Dom, because I told you a while ago, and I'll say it again, man. You draw in the super chats. We got one from E Boogie here. I think you know him well from Green Bean's channel.
Yes, sir.
He says, which safety do the Jets really need for this draft?
Ooh, good question. All right, so I think there's two ways to look at this. I think that there's a spot for an immediate, old school free safety type, like a true center field type, the Ed Reeds of the world. Maybe God forbid we get half of what Ed Reed was, but that type of safety. And I think there's a need for that rover position that we talked about, the slot slash post safety that Minka is going to play this year. I think that we talked about backfill in certain positions, so you do something like that. And I know that the Jets have met with Jalen Kilgore from South Carolina on numerous occasions. Also on a 30 visit. They had a formal meeting with him at the combine. They went to his pro day. He's a guy that clearly, if you just read through the tea leaves, is on their radar. That would be the backfill Minka pick. You would hope that he lands to round 4, but you might have to trade up to get him. Considering the Jets last year, they took Mason Taylor a lot earlier than other people did, so maybe they just said, "Fuck it, we're going to get our guys when we can." So maybe Kilgore could be a second rounder. I think that'd be a little rich. And then you have the free safety type, Zaki Wheatley from Penn State. I love that. I love that play. If you want to go really, real early, Dylan Thielman from Oregon, right? Like back in his Purdue days, that's what he did. He stayed home and played center field and was really damn good. Got a little bit more versatile in his years at Oregon, but again, now you're talking 16, and hopefully he gets there.
Yeah, yeah, and dude, you see some mocks these days. He's going like 10 to Cincinnati, and it's like, damn, bro, I too rich for me. All right, but hey, dude, I trust. Here's the thing, too. Like, this is Muji scouts now. Last year it wasn't, right?
Correct.
That's big. That's big. We gotta I knocked the guy a lot for the day 3 whiffs. This year's different, man. Clean slate. I'm going to give him, another chance on that with his own scouts. We'll see how he does on day 3. Dom E Boogie chimes in again and he says, anything on Jennings Dunker?
Jennings Dunker. Anything as in what? Like tied to the Jets? No, I have not seen or read or heard of anything like that. But it's a fun prospect.
Emphasis on red.
Yeah, exactly. His hair is about as red as Dano's beard, maybe even a little bit more. And he's got the Tippmann flow, man.
I love it, man. He is definitely a social media darling. I'll tell you that. I think that's probably the only reason I know his name. Probably not you, but okay. Another one from E Boogie, Dom. The check is in the mail, man. Dom, see Any kicker you like? Inside joke.
Nope. Inside joke. Nope. If anyone doesn't know the joke, if you watch me in Green Team, we always go back and forth because I think drafting a kicker is a waste. But I
Yeah.
like no kickers.
What can you tell me about AJ Halsey?
Really looks the part. He's a physical specimen. He's big. He flies around the field. Probably going to be more of a box guy, but he's had years of good ball skills, turning the ball over, so on and so forth. So he's a guy that's going to go higher than probably wouldn't surprise me if he was the third or the fourth safety off the board. He could go before EMW. Some people are going to have Halsey and the way he fits into certain defenses go higher than expected.
Is he ballsy, Halsey?
Ballsy Halsey. That's what we'll call him, man. If he takes on Florham Park, we'll call him Ballsy Halsey.
I like it, man. Couple for you specifically about pick 16. Bosco says, do you take Tyson at 16 if he's the only one of the three left? Would you take Cooper over him? And then another one related to the same thing. Nolan from Rich Ports Talk says, are you taking Tyson at 16? To be honest, for my mock, I'm terrified to take him with the injury concerns, especially the hamstring injuries continuing this week. So back-to-back questions about Tyson at 16. Dom, what do you think?
I think it's wild that Jordan Tyson to the Jets is like the biggest thing in our world right now. Like it's been talked about for days now. And I am actually opposite of what Nolan says. And what's up, Nolan? Great content right there from my man. So, I'm not worried about the hamstring, to be honest with you. He tweaked it while he was working out, getting ready for his pro day. He's a professional athlete, and they're going to have soft tissue injuries. I don't care that it's, they didn't say it's lingered from the season. He kind of tweaked it again, man. And plus, it's a hamstring in March. Games aren't until September. Can't be until the end of July. You got some words. So that being said, if the medicals come back clear for his knee, which was 2022, then I would take him wholeheartedly at 16 if he was there.
What do you say to a guy like me who is uneasy about the prospects of drafting any player based on sealing this draft? I think that we should aim for more safe selections to build out the foundation and then take our big swings next year.
I think in a nutshell, we talked about that's kind of probably what Muji's mindset's going to be, or at least it makes the most sense for Muji's mindset to be like that. But you know what? You have 4 picks. If you use all of them, you have 4 picks in the top 50. You should swing for the fences on 1 or 2 of them because it's almost like gravy, right?
He earned the right.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, I'm torn, because I see a guy like Sadiq at 16 and everything's telling me you don't do that twice. You already took a tight end, blah, blah, blah. But on the other hand, it's like, dude is safe. This dude is not busting. This dude is helping the wide receivers and the tight ends and the quarterback and the O-line. I don't know. I think at 2 and 16, I do lean safe, but then after that, I give Muji the leash to kind of take a swing at 33 and 44. But at the same time, he's going to do what he thinks is wise, and I got to trust him.
Yep.
I can't take Simpson at 16. Though, I'll tell you that.
I listen. Gun to my head right now. I have no idea how the board's going to fall. But if I had to bet on something, I would bet on if Simpson is in the equation, they won't do it at 16, but they will trade up from 33 to do it.
I'm okay with that. I don't
know if they're going to do it, like I said, but I think that's the route they would go.
If there was okay, so one other question, and then I got one last chat question. But I think I'm the only one that I've heard at least say that they will touch 2027 picks, with the caveat I will only touch a third over there. I don't want to touch a first or a second, but I'll bring that third into this year for a third. Would you potentially pair that with 33, or are you of the mind, hey man, we got to leave 2027 alone? If anything, we'll add to it, not take away from it.
Um, I think I would lean towards the latter, like add to it instead of taking away from it. And I think it just has to do more so for the overall talent. That you've heard all the buzz there. People are saying next year could be an all-time draft. So I want as many licks of the popsicle as I can in a draft like that. So that'd probably lean towards the latter.
Sorry, one last thing before so we met with Aller. What have you heard about our visit with Penn State?
I've heard a lot about Penn State. They were at Pro Day. They invited some of those guys, I believe, to into Forum Park and worked them all out privately. I don't know who. I know Alar was there, and I know Trevor Pena, who's one of the receivers, who was also in on a 30 visit prior. I know he was there, but I don't know who else was there. I know they had a 30 visit or a visit. Let me see. Is it 30? And shameless plug, if you guys are really interested in who the Jets are meeting with and where they've done it, I have it in my pinned to my profile on Twitter. Oh, that's not it.
Thanks for joining me, man. I appreciate it. I'm not the monologuer.
No, it's all good, dude. I really didn't mean to, come on here and take the show over.
I no, you're dude. Anytime I get your brain, I'm sorry, I have to treat it as such, and I gotta pick it.
Yeah, Trevor Pena did have a 30 visit with the Jets, and so did Nick Singleton, the running back. So
Singleton, yeah, I saw
they
that
also
come through
brought
the
in
wire.
an interior lineman for another. I don't know if he was part of it, but they met with him a couple times, and for the life of me, I can't remember his name. I have a note here to put in the Penn State guard into my spreadsheet, and I didn't write his name down.
Four or 5 years from now, we'll look back at this draft, and Venga Yowane will be redrafted in what slot?
Ooh, that's a great question. I'm gonna say top 5. All right, just because he's a guard. Listen, because I think that we're going to be looking back and seeing that Mendoza was a good quarterback. I expect really top end production from Arvell Reese. You know that there's going to be a surprise defender. Actually, I shouldn't say that. I think Arvell Reese is going to be, he's going to step up. The cornerbacks, the top end cornerbacks, I could see one of those guys being a really special talent. Maybe it's Colton Hood. Maybe it's Cisse from South Carolina, the guys that the Jets type or the Aaron Glenn type. Maybe not. But I think I think Vanga Ioane has a really really good chance to be one of the best that comes out of his class.
My preference at 16 is Vanga Lemon, kind of hand in hand, Sadiq, and then ... You got the Coopers and the Tysons and the Boston, but it's Vanga Lemon Sadiq, man. And I only say his name right because of you.
Yeah, Venga Ioane. So there. I mean, listen. I just think he's a really good prospect. He's another guy that's been talked about a lot. You hear rumors that he could go in the top 10, although I think more than likely he'll probably be in that 13 to 18 range. Like I can't see him getting past wherever Detroit picks. I know they're after us. I don't know if it's 17 or 18, or Carolina. They could use the help. Like that's I think the floor that you're going to see him. The problem I have, and although I would not be upset if you took him in round one. The problem I have is you're going to have to pay now. Tittman, probably close to the top of the market, because guys will, he might not reshape the market, but he's going to be probably a top 10 at his position. Olufashinu, you're going to have to pay him. Membo, you're going to have to pay him, and that's like consecutive years, 1, 2, 3. Are you really going to? Are you going to put another offensive lineman? I don't think that's the best allocation of assets, because if you either decide that you're not keeping them all, or you're spending way too much money of your salary in that area.
Your best bet is taking a year off and then dipping back in, maybe a year after that, just spreading it out. I'm with you, man. Allocation of resource, all that cap management. I'm with you. But dude, Ioane, man, everything I hear is just, I mean, you've seen him, but everything I hear is like, man, he could be a difference maker for us. But at the same time, if you can get a guard in IOL anytime later, dude, look at some of these other spots, All right. I have one pinned, and it's unrelated to the draft. Not really, but kind of. Wild Wave chimes in. He says, if we are 5-12, but we're competitive, Dom, AG looks competent and player development is heading in the right direction. I have an erection. No, you firing AG?
If we're 5-12, yes.
Even with all those caveats.
Yes. He's going to be 12-13 is what, 25? He's going to be 7-25 in 2 years.
Pretty bad.
Yeah.
Pretty bad. But I mean, if things are trending the right way and Muji gutted his team and he hasn't even got the quarterback yet, does that make a difference? Or are you just going to hand the keys to someone who can take it the rest of the way?
Yeah, listen, if we're 5-12, we're picking, we might not be at the top, but we're picking very, very much near it so we can get a quarterback, right? I want an offensive mind to come in here and kind of groom this quarterback. I don't want Aaron Glenn doing it.
Are you like me and resigned to the fact that we are using at least 2 firsts to acquire said quarterback next year?
Excuse me. Oh, I don't know if we're gonna listen. Maybe I'll reserve that answer until I see, what the season looks like. Because 5-12, if there's 6 teams that are 4-13, then yes, we probably are. If there's not, then I don't know.
Fair. Dom, where can folks find your content? Because let's face it, man, the next month you're going to be churning out a lot of it.
Yeah. You can follow me on Twitter, DC_NFL Draft. All my written content and evals will be on Jets X Factor. We're currently going through my top 50 best fits for the Jets. Skylar Bell is the next eval that's up. So
not related to Chris, right?
Not related to Chris, but a very good receiver in his own right. So
I love it.
You can find all my written stuff there. You can see me with Ryan Delaney on Mondays, Talking Jets show at 8 or 9 p.m. And then the 7 o'clock, 10 o'clock mock, which we have had a hard time connecting over the past couple weeks. Just life happening. So hopefully we're back on track.
Just to tease it, man, he took Ty Simpson again, and he said there's a caveat. Next week, you guys are not allowed to. So I told him, I said, let's call it the business casual mock draft next Sunday. We're no ties allowed.
No ties. I love that.
Dom, man, I love you, bro.
I love you too, brother. I'll talk to you, man.
You're in the thrust of it, man. Hang in there, get some sleep. All right. And dude, I can't wait for you to experience May.
Yeah, yeah, it's gonna be crazy. Especially, I got like I said, I got about 10 days of vacation where I'm not gonna be vacationing much because I have my laptop on me. So it is what it is.
Hey, Geek Squad, do your job.
Yeah, fucking A.
All
I'll talk to you later.
right. Yep, later. Folks, man, you guys got a treat. I got a treat tonight, man. We got Chaos, the egghead, and then we got the guy with the big brain, man. See that? See that? See that? um, love Dom, man. He plugs all these people he's working for. I would rather plug him. Project Prospect underscore NFL on YouTube. If you subscribe there, you're supporting him, because who knows? You know, you work for, I've worked for, I don't know, a dozen places in my life. And I'm just saying, like, support the man. That's all. Project Prospect underscore NFL. You'll have him forever. You do that. And also, like, there is no reason on planet Earth that I should have almost as many subscribers as him on YouTube. There's not. Okay. So go show him some love, man. He always shows us love, especially Friday nights, man. I see him pop into damn near every stream. Here on Sundays again, man, showing us love. You're going to see him here in a couple Sundays as our potentially inaugural Chaos in the Zone guest host. Man, I'm down for that. E-Boogie, man, I appreciate you. I think there was another super chat. We're winding down here, folks. Did you spike the like button? It's much better than smashing it. Everybody smashes it. If you do it here, you're spiking it. Okay, just saying. Just saying. Dude, still a month away from the draft. Murph is going to be like 45 minutes from said picks happening. We got to get him to drive his short ass up there and to make sure things go properly for old Mooj. Yeah, come on, Murph. What are you doing? What are you doing? All right, so got another one here. I'm late on it, but you know I couldn't allow Dom C to overstay his welcome. Dom C, and this is a super chat from eBoogie, $5. He says, Dom C, any edge or linebacker not named Reese that can play off-ball linebacker and or a player fit for AG's got balls defense. You know what, eBoogie? I wish I got to this sooner. Some hosts would leave it at that. I'm not going to. eBoogie, what I'm going to do is I'm going to bank this one. I'm going to ask Dom C that question when I see him again. Okay. And I hope that's okay. I hope that I think you would rather have Dom C's answer a couple weeks late than have my willy-nilly one now. Hashtag willy-nilly. Yeah, or I'll DM him and get this answer and I'll tell you next week if you want it sooner. But fantastic, eBoogie. I appreciate you, man. For real. I've actually chatted live with you. You know, a lot of people on YouTube probably would never guess that. I've actually been on a Zoom call with eBoogie, met him, hell of a guy, very good Jets fan, man. Also he's plugged into social media. He sees a lot of the same things I see. He's also high on Diego Pavia. but that's only because, Pavia is so small. So of course he's high on him, right? um, yeah. Appreciate you guys, man. We're about to wrap. I love you guys, man. This is therapy for me as much as it is for you. I know there's not always content on Friday nights and Sunday nights this late. I think it's a perfect scenario though, because like you guys crave it late. Also, I'm on the West Coast, so like it's not as late for me. So it's kind of a win-win, especially being on off peak times and off peak nights. The fact that you guys still come out and support is appreciative. Still 21 in here, man, live. I'm not counting the Twitters and all that, but 21 here now. Appreciate it. Believe it or not, I got to get up at 4 a.m. 4 a.m. Pacific, but still. What's that? That is 6.5 hours away. Yeah. If you watched the Green Beans mock draft, if you stayed till the end of it, you probably already know what I'm about to say. But if you are the 70% who hasn't, just know that 4 a.m. At 6 a.m., we will be getting truck after truck of concrete. And they come, this is okay. I work construction. This year in 2026, I'll probably do it predominantly. They space these trucks out 30 minutes apart. And if you make them wait longer than that, they charge you extra. So every 30 minutes, boom, truck full of concrete's coming with the old scoop behind it, and they're letting it out, and it's coming out, and it's coming out, it's coming out. We have a 100-foot by 100-foot building. It's a lot. That's a large. That's 10,000 square feet. So they're going to come at 6 a.m. tomorrow morning, every 30 minutes, probably 6 to 8 in a row of them. And they're going to dump all the concrete they can. And we're going to hurry up and push it in, pack it into, you start in the back corner, you work your way out and you push it in and you scrape the top of it, make it all pretty. And then they drive in a little shorter distance and they drop their load, and you push it in, you pack it in, you scrape the top, and then they pull in a little bit and they drop more and push it in and pack it in. Dude, my shoulders are already tired just thinking about this. Okay. So pray for me tonight is what I'm trying to say, because, when I can't keep up with that pace, or when my shoulders start to ache, I'm going to say, hey, take it up with YouTube. Take it up with Jet's YouTube, man. They kept me up till 10 p.m. and I had to be up at 4. So don't look at me. I'm tired. I'm going to take a rest. Concrete day, man. Coming up. Back to back, actually, Monday and Tuesday. So tomorrow night, don't text me. I'm going to be cooked. Tuesday night, I'm going to be hella cooked. And then Wednesday, I'm going to be in a coma. Hopefully I can work some office days on the latter half of the week. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Scott's saying, oh, man, Dana's bringing back memories. I did a lot of pad certification for those sorts of buildings. Yeah, man. 100 by 100 is one of the larger ones we've done. I've done the 100 long, and that cooked me. But it was 100 by 60 wide. This one's 100 by 100, man. It's actually for a cranberry farm, believe it or not. Pretty cool spot here in Oregon. They have a cranberry farm. Believe it or not, 4 million pounds of cranberries came out of that place in 2025. 4 million pounds. Insane. The building we're making tomorrow, or at least we already started it, the last couple weeks. But the building we're concreting and making the pad for, it's gonna be where they will clean these cranberries before shipping them off. Apparently, from what I understand, what I've gathered is that before they would have to send them out to be cleaned as part of their step process or whatever, they would outsource the cleaning of them. They would have to pay like 12 cents a pound to have them cleaned elsewhere. This building will allow them to clean that here. And you take 12 cents times 4 million pounds, like $500,000 a year that they can save by using this building. So we got to make that concrete right, or this shit ain't gonna work. Yeah. Anyways, Wild Wave, peace, man. I appreciate you, dude. JT, love you, brother, for sure. E Boogie, man. Scott, what do you got to say here? What is this? I feel like this is blasphemy, and I haven't even read it yet. I just seen the word beard. What does it say? If our draft is half as good as Dane's beard, we are getting a couple. Hello, it's not black. See, I don't pre-read some of this shit, and I put my foot in my mouth. Shout out Rex Ryan. Thank you, Scott. Appreciate you, brother. I'm gonna be trimming it soon though, because this underneath is finally starting to look like a second beard. And this is like two different levels of beard. So I'm going to trim this and it's all going to be thicker. Yeah, it's getting it. So yeah, don't make fun of me when I come in and it's just this again. It's a long game. Pause. Ozzy, where did you get your hat at, Dane? You know what? This one, this is just stick around, man. I got better hats than this, but this is a Mets hat. This is a Brooklyn throwback Mets hat. I have other ones that I like a lot more, but the fact that I had gray on today, I thought it was a good combo. But yeah, I traditionally try to rotate through my hats a little bit. I haven't worn this one in a long time, but baseball season starts this week. So that made me interested. Freddie Peralta on the mound. Check that out, Ozzy. Also, Ozzy, again, I'm sorry. I think this is your first stream here. And if I'm wrong, I'm sorry. But if I'm right, it won't be your last one. I can promise you. I feel it, man. A great addition to the group. I hope you enjoyed chatting, not only with me, but with the chat down there as well. All good people. Boss Girl always brings it. Intellectuals conspiring in the danger zone Friday nights and Sunday nights. Appreciate you guys. Spike the like button. I'm sure you already have. Ocean Spray, Scott. No, that is here, though. I have a feeling they're in cahoots. But no, this is separate from them. But I guarantee you they have an agreement in place. All right, guys. Appreciate you. We did 2.5 on a Sunday night, which is actually a longer Sunday night. We have a couple guests scheduled for you. We got Green Bean coming up on Friday. It's not this Friday. It's the following one. I'm going to try to work in someone else this Friday. If I'm not in a coma. Okay. So forgive me. Maybe we'll have Anthony or Nolan on this Friday, and then Green Bean the following. We got Dom on deck now. Dude, we're ramping up for the draft. So stick around. And yeah, have a good night, guys. Let's look at this. Hold on, let me bring it up one more time. Let's look at this Woody Johnson voodoo doll one more time in all its glory. Creepy. Raggedy Andy ass Woody Johnson. What kind of name is Woody Johnson, man? It's like a euphemism for hard dick. Get out of here, bro. Anyways, get my head out of here. Spike the like button. Have a good night. Enjoy your Mondays. Thank you for watching Jets Talk in the dangers of chaos. Chaos in the danger zone. Back from Tucson. Who goes to Tucson? Sorry, Ozzy. Peace.
You know, I'm convinced we're the most cursed team in professional sports.
You guys are bad.
You know, I've been saying this hot take for a long time, and I'm sticking to it. My hot take is that Will McDonald's going to hit 15 sacks.
No member of the New York Jets Week 1 offensive line will miss a game all year.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time! So get ready to rumble!